So last week I had the brilliant idea to start doing these on Friday. Seemed like a good idea. Friday, end of the week, we're talking about what we got done during the week. So Friday, good day to wrap everything up. Also, I get distracted very easily, so I don't seem to get to these till late in the week. Seemed like a fantastic idea that made a lot of sense, and then in the last 16 hours, well, you know what happened. So not too happy about that. I was considering not even doing an episode this week because doing this on YouTube, for one thing, when, you know, YouTube, I'm kind of not faultless in world events right now. Not too happy with that platform. And then trying to push anything out on social media also, with everybody so wrapped up in just the god-awful hellscape of things, as they rightfully should be. Why even make, you know, a little video about the crap I was working on this week? But, you know, as I was having this conversation with my wife, Nikki, last night, we were talking about, as trite as this may sound, we were talking about the little things and how, you know, the little things make all the difference. And I quoted Brandon Lee in The Crow, nothing is trivial. So things that seem trivial are often the things that get us through, and we all have to carry on no matter what's going on in the world. So here we are, and we've got a question to ask. So welcome to What Are You Working On, the weekly series where I tell you what I'm working on or I've been working on this week, and you hit the comments and tell me what you've been working on this week. And you can ask me questions, we can talk about it, we can brainstorm, just check in with each other. That's what it's all about. It's about accountability and just, you know, trying to take that next step. I do words for a living. That next step down the road, and it's easier to do that if you got someone walking next to you. So with that very awful pedestrian metaphor, welcome to this week's episode. So this week was very much about sympathy pains for me in a way. Didn't have a good week working on the novel or working on too much. It was a bad week that felt like it went very quickly. Last week was not a good week either, but that felt very slow, at least. Which, when you're having a bad week, it's not good when it's slow. But like, at least I felt like I had more time. This week just kind of like evaporated. And I didn't have good writing days. I think Tuesday I was having one of those days where I just hated everything I was doing. Everything I was writing on that day, and then everything I had written, and the whole book, I just was like, this is crap. Which is very strange, because it's not like a book I'm working on spec or anything. It's the second book in a series I've already sold. So I have empirical evidence that at least a major publisher and very smart editors and my agent and everybody don't think that the story is crap. And you think that would be a boon to my confidence and my confidence in the story, but it's not. Tuesday, I just hated everything. I got over that. It's strange, the more you do this, you don't stop having neuroses about your work. You just become more aware of that you're having the neuroses and more aware of what they are in the moment. So even as I'm having this day where I'm like, everything I'm writing is crap, this story is crap, it's all crap, rationally, I know I'm just having one of those days, and like, it's not all crap, and I'll get over it, and I'll get back to pumping out words that I feel more confident in. So apparently you can't stop yourself from experiencing all that, no matter how long you do this, but you can build up an awareness for it, which, you know, helps you mitigate the fallout from it, if that makes any kind of sense. So yeah, the sympathy pain part, I really didn't have any reason to be having such a shitty week. But then my wife and I were taking a walk last night around the neighborhood, right before the Santa Ana's kicked up, and it got freezing cold and winds, and it was very nice, and we were enjoying the evening, and I was talking about that. I was like, I don't know why I had such a crappy week, and she told me it's because she was having a crappy week, having a hard time right now with a bunch of stuff, and if one of us isn't happy, then invariably the other one isn't happy. That's just how we roll, and she was right. So it's really what it was. I have no ability to experience joy when Nikki is not able to feel joy. We're tethered to each other like that, and I very much prefer it that way. I wouldn't have my emotional life disconnected from her ever. It's one of the things that gets you through under optimal conditions. So yeah, and that's not to lay my shitty productivity off on her, but that was a big part of what was happening this week. And it's very hard when you do this job and, you know, you have to, you know, it's not paint by numbers. Like, I'm creating everything from scratch, and I'm trying to create an experience, whether it's comedy or drama or whatever it is. So when you have something that's very emotionally affecting, even though this is a job and you have to do the job and find a way to soldier through, like, that has a profound effect on your work. And that's okay to acknowledge that. It doesn't make you a bad writer, or it doesn't make you lazy or a flighty artist or any of those other bullshit stereotypes. It's a very real thing. Like, your job is tied to creating an emotional experience and an emotional response. And when your emotions are being fucked with, it's very hard to get that out. So this week on The Novel Sucked, I got stuff done. I got a bunch of words done. I don't really measure word count at this point. It's done when it's done. Like, I know the structure and I know the parts and I know I have to finish all these parts for it to be done. So I don't even really monitor word count at this point, which I know is sacrilege to a lot of people who have spreadsheets and programs, and that's how they stay on course. There's nothing wrong with that. I'm not saying I never do that. Just at this point with this book, I'm not focusing on that now. Like, I know the story that I need to tell, and I know the parts that go into it, so I'm just focused on getting those parts done and telling the story until it's finished. So I can't give you a word count of progress, but progress was made. It was just a shitty week, that's all. There is other stuff going on, some of which I can't talk about yet. Could be good, could be bad. That's just the freelance writing life. My agent, waiting on my agent's notes on the middle grade book I finished. My agent did tell me that it's incredible, which is high praise coming from a very, not harsh, but very honest critic, with a very critical eye. He was an editor at Orbit for a long time. He's the one who, discovered, I don't even know if that's the right word, but he's the one who discovered, the Expanse series. So, in addition to being a fantastic agent, he's also a very experienced and critical and talented editor. So to have him just say it's incredible, even though I haven't got his notes back yet, was an accomplishment in and of itself. I'm feeling good about the book. I feel like, well, taking it out, we're going to do very well with it. I'm really hoping it's something that I can turn into a series and write a bunch of, because I really did enjoy. It was such a different experience, but I really enjoyed writing a book aimed at, you know, that 8 to 12-year-old demographic. So we'll see what happens, but that was a nice thing in a week that was not nice and ended fucking horribly for everybody. So there's that. And that is more or less what I'm working on. So what have you guys and girls and non-binary folk been working on? Let me know. Hit the comments. Tell me what you got going on. How the week went for you. You don't have to talk about how the week ended, because I think for all of us reading the news, the week ended pretty shittily. So that's all right. But yeah, let me know. And if I can help you in any way, let me know that too. And thank you for joining me on this trail of accountability. Please like, share, subscribe, hit the notification button so you know when new episodes of What Are You Working On come out. Tell everyone on your social medias about this. The Hugo nominations in today. If you're nominating for the Hugos, Sin du Jour is eligible for Best Series. Taste of Wrath, the final Sin du Jour novella, is eligible for Best Novella. I'll plug that one more time, because I spent 4 years of my life writing this thing, and I finished it last year, and I wouldn't hate some recognition to feel like I didn't waste my time, because I certainly didn't get that monetarily. But it's fine. I'm not bitter. I'm obviously not bitter. Someone, I was recording Ditch Diggers, the podcast I do with Merle Lafferty, and we got a question from somebody, and they weren't being a dick. They were asking a very good, legitimate question, but the question started off with, Matt talks all the time about how his novella series didn't do very well, didn't perform very well sales-wise. So I guess I am bitter, because I talk about it a lot. But you know, we do a podcast about the business of writing, so it's relevant to a lot of things we do. So it's not weird that I talk about it a lot. It was just sobering hearing an outside perspective on how often I talk about how we didn't really sell the series very well. Anyway, so all that stuff is eligible if you're nominating for the Hugos. It ends, I think, at midnight. I don't know in what time zone, but plug that one more time. I will see you all next week. I wish us all a much better week with a much better ending than I had personally and than the world had on a global human level. And I hope we can do it better next week. So, Wallace out. Team Hamshackle out. I keep blowing that. I keep blowing the outro. I keep doing it. Maybe I'll just make it a thing. Maybe just be like a reoccurring segment. I'm going to stop talking now.